Hi, I'm Amanda Skelton, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I'd like to show you how to make this card. So it's a bit of ink blending, but more importantly, we're going to be using the Round We Go bundle. So these are the stamps, so we'll be using a couple of these stamps, and it's got some nice sentiments on it as well, a really nice happy birthday as well. And you can sort of make this into like fireworks as well with these little stars. And then we've got the dies as well, which we're going to use. And one of my other videos that will be going live shortly with this as well will also be making use of one of these to make a rosette. So yes, so we're going to be using that, and I'm going to do it in a slightly different colourway. So I think this was, you would have been using Night of Navy, and this was probably using Cherry Cobbler, or what's the other burgundy? Merry Merlot probably. So what you need is, you need a half an A4 card blank, folded in half or scored in half, and then you want 2 pieces of white cardstock, and they just need to be small, slightly smaller than your A5 size. So the larger one will be measuring 5 7/8 by 5.5 inches, and the smaller, slightly smaller one will be 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. So you're basically taking off 1/8 of each one. So you can see that it's just slightly smaller, and it's just enough to give it that small white border around. If you feel that you need to cut a little bit more off, then you can do, but it should be just enough to do that. Okay, so you can put your card blank to one side for the minute, and you can also put away your larger of the two. You want the smaller, which is going to be the front section. So what you want to have is 3 colour cards that are coordinating. So I've chosen these 3 colours. So my base is Evening Evergreen. So I'm going to use Evening Evergreen card as part of it, because I've got the card base as that colour. And I've chosen 2 other tones of greens as well. So you can see again on these 2, I've gone for a darker, a mid blue and a pale blue. And again here I've gone for 3 different tones. So threes always work really well with art. And nature, actually, odd numbers. So just choose 3 colours that you think go well together. It could even be just 3 bright colours, so it doesn't have to be different tones of the same colour. Okay, so I've actually done a bit of cutting out ahead of time. So in your die set, so this is the slightly larger of the 2 flowers, and this is the slightly smaller of the 2 flowers. So this one's got rounded edges and this has got pointy edges. So, and then we've got a large circle and a small circle, and then we have this like dollar sort of die as well. So in your palest colour, you want the smaller, the round edged flower. You want one of those. You want the large, the dollar, and the small circle in the light green. Your dark colour, you want, actually let's make it, yeah, we'll stick with that. The darkest colour you've chosen, I've done the large flower, and then I've done 2 of the larger circle and 1 of the smaller circle, and 1 of the dollar signs, the dollar things. And then the mid green, I've done a large flower and a smaller flower, and this dollar as well. So the idea is we're going to mix these so that the mid colour goes on the large and the small flower, just to sort of bring it together, and you'll see how that comes together in a minute. Okay, so ahead of that, so your smallest piece of card, you want to, I'm choosing the darkest colour. Again, dark colours go really well on this because you really want the contrast. Again, if I show you the cards, one of the dies is going to give us these circles here, these little things, and that's really good. That's why you've got the white colour, the white base behind it. So so the darker colour, the more contrast you're going to get. And I'm going to sort of basically do diagonal across there. You don't have to be really accurate with it, and you want to build up your colour. So because you're going to be putting things on this line, again, you don't have to have it really, really exact. Okay, I'll put this here because then it's so you want to keep adding more and more colour on, and you'll see it's getting a bit darker. So the idea is you want to get a really nice, strong, and as even as possible. But again, you're not going to notice too much because you're going to have topper items on top of it. So you can mess about with that as much as you want. Okay. So, right. So that done. What I'm going to do then is use the stamp. So I'm going to use the largest of these stamps. So this has got the largest stamp is the round one, and the slightly smaller one is this one. So I'm going to use the larger one for both, and I'm going to do stamp one up in the top and one in the bottom. I'm using the same colour. I'm using evergreen, evening evergreen, and even though it's the same colour, it will come out darker even if you stamp on top the same colour. And I'm going to do it so that it's slightly off slightly off the paper, and I'm going to have one here, and it's quite nice for this colour to come out onto the white, so I'm going to do that about there. Okay, so you can see how nice and dark it is. Actually, what I did on this card is this is a stamp. There's a circle stamp on here, two large and small, but actually what I've done is there's die cuts that fit the same size, so I've actually die cut out the piece of card rather than it doing this time. And actually what we can, we've also got the happy birthday. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I've added everything to work out where I want to put the happiest birthday, because I'll just do it where there's sort of like a bit of an indent there. So I'll wait and do that probably last. Right, I'm getting right messy with the inks again. Okay, so you have got 2 small flowers and 2 large flowers. So what you can do is you just overlap them, and they just fit in really nice. The petals just overlap really nicely. But what I would do is just put a little bit of glue on the bottom one. It's up to you what colour you want to put. If you want to put the dark one or the light one, it's entirely up to you. And then I'm going to do the same on the large flower. Oops. Okay, if they don't quite fit flat, you can just use your hands and it'll just massage them into place. Okay, so while those 2 are drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these holes into this one. So we are going to want, so I think I've done, don't know if you can see, but that's sort of like little diamonds and that's little circles. So I've done the larger one for the top one and the smaller one. So that's the smaller one and that's the larger one. Alright, so the larger one I've done at the top. Where's that one gone? And you want to just sort of centre it with the middle. And then I've done the smaller one, that doesn't look centred, that's better. Then the smaller one at the bottom. I think that looks about right. Hopefully they stayed in place. Run that through your die cutting machine. and there you can see you've got your holes. Always make sure you take your extra bits off of your cutting plate before you use it next time, otherwise you're going to end up with loads of indentations. So now you can see how nicely that shows up when it's on a white. Actually, that one's hasn't come through. There you go. You can see how nicely that shows up now when you've got a white border. Where's that? There you go. So you can see how nicely that now shows up with a white border. Okay, so we can now start adding our layers. So the larger white card that you should have put to the side, goes on first. And then the piece that you've coloured and go on next. I've done it from the top left. Doesn't matter if it's top left or not, that's just how I tend to do it because I want the sentiment down the bottom. Okay, so now you can start adding. So I tend to just start with the large flowers first and just place them first. So that one's going to go in there. The mid green goes there, the light green goes up there, and then I've got a dark green, a dark green, and then we've got a light green that goes in the middle there, and a dark green that goes in the middle there. It just really sets it off when you put that ones in the middle there. And then I'm going to have my happy birthday there. So let's now put those in place. So I think I'll start with that one first. Start with the bottom layer. He's just going to go in there. That one's going to go there. Oops, it's like playing with counters, quoits. That one's gonna go a bit further in there. So you can place these wherever you like, really. I'm just playing around with these. Put that one just in there. And then we should have, what have I done with 2 small pieces? There we go. So I'm using tape, but you can use wet glue if you like. So I've used the light one there because it's nice contrast. A bit more glue on that one. And that one's going to go in the middle there. So there you go. You can see how, I mean, obviously I've pre-cut this, which does take a little bit of time. And then I'm going to put that straight so that it helps me to line it up. And then I'm going to put a sentiment. I'm just going to put the sentiment in there. There you go. Oh, I've got got a bit on there. So there you go. There you have a nice sort of floral. It can be floral. It doesn't have to be floral, but it could be fireworks as well. So that is that colourway that matches those two now. So there you go. There we have a really nice card with the Round We Go bundle. Hope you've enjoyed it. As always, you can find me on Pinterest and YouTube as Amanda's Crafted Cards, and you can find all the products that I've used at www.amandascraftedcards.stampinup.net. Hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a message if you did, and I shall speak to you later. Bye bye.